real quick. All right.
Oh,
We're live.
Okay, great. All
I
right.
do want
Hi,
to ask, will
everyone.
I be able to share my screen?
Uh,
Uh,
you might, Chris. I think you're. Hold on. All right, there you go.
okay, there you
All right, you
go.
guys, we're live. Yes, I believe you will. We can definitely look to that as we're going through. All right, go
Okay.
ahead, take it away,
Okay.
Judy.
Yeah. Hola, Latinos and Clinical Research Community. I'm Judy, and I'm here with Ashley and Monica. And we want to thank all of you for being here with us today. We're excited to talk more with our guest, Dr. Renarda Jones, a clinical research professional and founder of Diverse Research Now. Thank you for being with us today.
Of
We'd like to,
course. I'm
yeah.
so happy to be here.
So this, we like to have our guests kind of do their own introductions. So if you could tell us more about, your educational professional background, how did you get started
Yeah.
into research? What did you do? And how that led you to where you're at now with your own organization, Diverse Research Now?
Yes. Thank you. So yes, I am a clinical research professional. I've been in the field for probably like 20 plus years. Research was my first job out of undergrad. And I'm from Chicago. So I worked at Rush University, and I my first job was at the Rush Alzheimer's Disease Center. And so most of my research experience has been in that field, in the Alzheimer's research field. But that's when I was there working in the at the Rush there. That's when I started working in the community, um, mostly the Black community, while in Chicago, and that's where I learned about like the hesitancy with the community getting into trials and research, and just learned a lot from the community there on the reasons why. And so I wanted to share the knowledge that uh, I was getting, just from my experience in work, and then also my school background, my education. And I knew how important it was for my community to be involved in this process. And so I wanted to create something where I could include them, make sure they're included. So that's why I created Diverse Research Now.
Awesome. That's really, really great. And thank you for your efforts. There's not a lot of
Mhm.
people in the industry that are doing this. I'm really hoping, that more and more people get on this bandwagon. But thank you
Yeah,
so much for, you being, technically a leader in your community.
thank
Were there
you.
was there anything in particular that you experienced within the community that kind of stood out to you with the hesitancy?
Yeah. Well, when I was in the community, a lot of people. The one thing is again, it was Alzheimer's studies. So I was the one that was going in and doing like the memory assessments with them. We actually were able to go to their homes at that time to do memory assessments, and the community really accepted me. They loved when we came in, and like they didn't mind. The thing is they didn't mind giving their information and sharing. um they wanted help for their health condition. However, that was more so um, epidemiology studies, or just asking them questions about their health condition and doing the assessments. They were not taking any medication. So, but when we would, come in and ask to be in a study where you actually taking medication, that's where it was like, oh, wait a minute, like we don't want to take nothing. But I've learned, and I'm sharing with the community now that this is the way we find our medications that are going to work for us. We have to go through these clinical trials in order to find medications that's going to work for everyone. So yeah, but that's what I saw in the community, is just we're very hesitant, very scared, fearful. I think a lot of it is just not enough education, which is why that's what we kind of focus in on. Diverse Research Now is the education of it all.
Yeah, I think you're on mute, Ashley, if you're talking.
Oops, sorry. I was gonna ask, so you're not in Chicago anymore, you're in California now, correct?
So right. I'm sorry, I didn't miss that part. Yes. So at some point, I moved from Chicago to San Diego, and I think it was just meant for me to be in Alzheimer's disease research because as soon as I got here, I found myself back in the same research, almost working with some of the same groups I worked with in Chicago. So I think it was just meant for me to work in that field.
Awesome. Oh, we have
Mhm.
Alicia here. Hey, Alicia, thanks for attending. That's really great. So, with diverse research now, is there, one we'd like for LICR, we like to interview individuals throughout the community, but we also want to make sure we give organizations such as yours a platform to, get more reach and whether it's, currently live or through YouTube later. Right. So is there anything in particular that you feel, makes diverse research now special and, stand out from everyone else?
Yeah, well, our organization is very unique. We're attacking this problem, excuse me, in a very unique way. No one is really doing it the way that we are, and I think it is time in the field to have these, novel, innovative uh, um, solutions because uh, we've been doing the same thing over and over, year after year, generation after generation, and we know historically there is still a lack in the participation of Black and Brown people in clinical research. So how do we find? I mean, that's like the number one question when we go to all these conferences. Now, what is the answer? So our approach is really special because we want to make the participant, that diverse participant, the center of attention, because they're the important piece here, right? They're the missing piece. We need to get them included. So how do we do that? And for us, we wanted to start diverse research now as a nonprofit so we can serve these participants that we need. Really, it's about serving them, giving them what they need, and then educating them, and then maybe they'll come and be more not so hesitant within the process. So what makes us different is that we're actually we have programs. So we do a lot of community engagement. We're educating the community about this. We're in the community on a consistent basis, but then once they are and want to get involved in the research, we actually have programs where we're walking them through the process. We really want to like serve our community and hold their hand through the process. Make them feel as comfortable as possible through the process, give them a good experience in the process. So, they have a good experience, they'll go tell their family about that experience or their friends about that experience, and maybe they'll come join. So our programs is one of our programs is called the Safe Space Program, where we're educating in that space. We will go over consents in that space. If there's a study that they're interested in, we will help to share research studies that might be an option for them in that safe space, and just get to know them, build a relationship, right? uh, share with them, and let them know that, hey, we care about you, and let's see what we can do to help. So the other program is the Study Buddy program, where we actually will go to visits with participants and check in on them as they're going through the clinical research process or clinical trial process.
That's great.
And we really think that this is going to empower them, give them a voice, so they sometimes, because sometimes in the past, I know in my experience, participants could be kind of intimidated, by the process,
Mhm.
intimidated by the doctors, intimidated by all what's going on. But if they have someone there, an advocate there, that's right by them on their behalf, nothing, that's the only reason we're there, then hopefully they'll have a better experience, and again, be empowered in the process.
That's amazing. I honestly, I don't know if, I mean, Judy, Monica, correct me if I'm wrong, but we've, interviewed many organizations over the past, 4 years that we've been doing this. And I think you're the first one to mention so specifically what you guys do, and I really love how you hold their hands because, somebody that, I've been in the site before, worked site, but I've, also see our own sponsor. It's especially when you're talking about maybe in oncology studies, it's such a long
Mm-hmm.
process. All the
Oh
information is so
man.
daunting. It's, I personally would be scared to go through that process, not even knowing the terminology. So that's so great that you guys do that. Jasmine, she said, I think this is a great way to demystify clinical trials in diverse populations. 100%. Yeah, completely agree.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
awesome. Did you want to share something? I know you had mentioned that you wanted to share your screen.
You know what? I didn't really know what the process was.
Okay, no, you're fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the questions. I didn't know if I was
Okay.
presenting something, or I'm okay if I don't have to.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, we don't really just ask questions here, but hey, if somebody wants to share
Okay.
something, we don't hold them to it either.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love this idea. I love this. So this is perfect.
Awesome.
Much better
Awesome. Well, I
than a
want to,
presentation.
yeah. Oh, I want to stop hogging the mic. I tend to do that a lot. Sorry, Judy and Monica, but feel free to jump in. I'll step back for a minute.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to share because I do follow you on LinkedIn and I think
Mhm,
Facebook. So I see all the stuff that you're doing, and I even
mhm,
get the emails. So I know aside what you mentioned, where you kind of follow them through that research journey, there's other things you're doing in the community as
mhm.
well. What else are you doing?
Yes, it's a lot of things you have to do. I think this process and getting people, the community involved, there's so many avenues that where we can reach them. And so we're trying it all. I think we're gonna try it all. So a part of our community engagement is our monthly events that we have here in San Diego, and they're called Chow and Chats. So the Chow and Chats is very similar to like a lunch and learn, but they're in the evening, and they're free to the community. We're feeding them dinner, and we're bringing in our sponsor, which is usually a researcher from a pharmaceutical or a site who's doing research in a health in a field, and they're coming in to share, their research and the importance of diversity in that research. So as they're eating, they hear from that researcher, and then we open it up for discussion in the community. That part right there is super important for me, and I think is the missing piece, is because a lot of times, it's hard for the pharma companies to kind of open it up to the community because they have to. It's so much red tape, and so they
Mhm.
can't really give the community the voice they need. And I love that we are able to do that, and because we really want to hear what the community is saying and to get their real questions so we can give real answers. So those questions, so that event is happening every month, usually on the last Thursday of the month. We have one coming up, and I don't know if I can share that, or
Yeah,
maybe I can.
at the bottom
I
it shows present on the icon. Present,
Oh,
sorry, present. Yeah, present. Just click it.
okay, I won't
Yeah.
worry about it, but
Okay, you're
I won't worry.
good.
Maybe I'll share it at the end. But
For sure.
it's called this. So this event this month is gonna be highlighting World Alzheimer's Month. Uh, that's this month, and we're doing an event called Remembering Together, uniting for awareness and hope. And so we have our sponsor, that's organization we're working with called Ari Bio. They have a Alzheimer's research study that they're going to be talking about, and then again, we're going to feed the community and talk with them, and also at that event, we're gonna, because we like to make sure we have other community resources at our event, because
Mhm.
we know that people are coming to our event. We want to give them as much as we can. We want to share and serve as much as we can. So at that event, we're also going to have 10-minute memory assessments where they can get a free memory assessment at that
Nice.
event. And we also do raffle prizes. So we try to make it fun, inviting for the community. That's our monthly community event, the last Thursday of every month. And then we also just started a podcast. Our podcast is called Voices of Inclusive Research, where we are bringing in the voice of the community to for them to share their lived experiences in clinical research, so that pharma and the biotech companies and the researchers can hear firsthand,
That's so good.
what the community is saying about their participation or their non-participation in clinical
Mhm.
research, and how, they're giving their insight. So I'm super excited about that, because
That's
I
so
don't
great.
know if that's, yeah, I don't know how much that's being done, and so yeah. Hopefully this is going to
I
be
don't
super
I
helpful.
don't think I've ever heard of that. Yeah, that's amazing. And Alicia just, mentioned right here, she started something similar next month on a similar scale. So exciting. I've definitely taken some notes. This is awesome. I honestly love it so, so much. I would even love
Yes,
for you
yes,
guys to be there at SOS. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, hello. First of all, thank you so much for the work that you're doing with the
of
community,
course.
because that takes time and also creativity and
Passion
a lot of work.
Mm-hmm.
and
So
resources.
Mhm.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
and so
For
I
sure.
wanted to ask, how is that, like the community reception to this event, and then after this happens, what is the change or what is the outcome that you see that this has caused
Yeah.
in the community?
Yeah. So the community is open to research. I want I That's what I usually tell like researchers. Like, it's not, I know that historically it's been all about trust, and I think that it goes a little bit beyond trust. Like, they just want to know what's going on.
Mhm.
We're bringing this awareness to them, we're educating them, and they're open to it. So what we're doing right now is really just trying to make them aware that we're there. So I think that's the biggest part for us. Our biggest challenge is just, sounding the alarm as loud as we can so we can get their attention. you know, I think every city is different.
Mhm.
We live in San Diego. However, we're a national organization, so we do events in other cities as well. We were just
Awesome.
in Atlanta earlier this year, and we'll be in Chicago next month. So every city's different. Every response is different. We got a great response in Atlanta. We had two events there. Um, and so again, that response in Chicago might not, Atlanta might not look like the response in Chicago, might not look like the response in San Diego, but
Mhm.
nevertheless, we're sounding the alarm. We're gonna keep doing the work, because we believe this is gonna bring better health to our communities. So when the other thing that you asked, you said there, how is the response different, or like, am I seeing results? So yes, there's people that come up in our events who always they want a safe space meeting. From our community event, the first step into working with us is usually our safe space meeting, where you kind of come one-on-one with us in a private setting, where we get to know you a little bit more. So that's usually from every event, we have at least one person that wants to do that safe space meeting with us, where we can learn a little bit more about them and really move them along in the process.
Awesome. Wow. I literally just, for everybody that is attending and for those that are watching later, well, maybe not watching later to be honest, but for those that are watching right now, we did go ahead and provide the link for, Diverse Research Now. So please go follow and support. Just a little cap in between, but that's so amazing what you're doing. And I'm so happy to hear that you guys are going throughout all of the US. That is that's a big wow. I mean, I don't know too much about Oklahoma City and their population, but I mean, it would be great for you to also do a stop there and uh, during the week that we're going to be having SOS, so you can be
Oh
present.
yeah,
I
I
mean,
want to be there.
awesome, awesome.
I
Yes,
would
I
love
think
to
that
be there.
Yes, I think the sites would, we're still building up the agenda. We'll be having that towards the end of the month, with
Okay.
LICR and SOS. But I do feel that this would be such a great resource for the sites, because predominantly these are, sites that are either just starting, they have, diverse populations that they need to, learn how to contact more with. And so I love what you're doing. This is great.
Yeah, yeah, no, I would love to be there. We actually have a participant in Oklahoma City, so I've been trying to
Oh,
get
right.
there
There
to.
you go.
Yeah,
Perfect for
he
me.
lives in Oklahoma City. We've been assisting him, so yeah, I would love to go.
I mean, we could even maybe do a session, and if he's open or she's open, have them come and speak about their experience. I mean, I think that would be
Oh man,
amazing.
he's
Mhm.
he
Yeah.
he's already ready to tell everybody about his experience.
Oh,
He's gonna
so
That's
be on the
great.
cool.
pod. Yeah, he's gonna be on the podcast, and then
Oh, cool.
but yeah, he's had a very unique experience, and so he wants to share it. So I would love to talk more about that.
Yeah, that would be good.
I would love to hear a little bit more about how is the process of, let's say, for example, somebody that is interested in a study, okay, and they want to participate. How is that process with holding your hand or holding their hand
Yeah.
on the studies?
Yes. So so in that safe space meeting, we learned about that participant, what studies they might be interested in. We then use clinicaltrials.gov and also another app that from one of our partners is a company called Artura, and they have a community app where you can go into the app and find studies in your area. So we use that app and we use clinicaltrials.gov to see if we can find a study that they might fit well with, that they might want to be involved in. We share that information with the participant. And if they want to get involved, we actually will do some initial contact with the study team. All that information is on clinicaltrials.gov. So we'll email the study team with this participant on there and say, like, hey, there's someone that's interested in your study. Usually we'll say the keyword underrepresented participant in your that wants to be in your study, so we know that that's like a key word, right? So in research, and that might get their attention a little bit better. So we'll let them know that, hey, there's someone interested in your study. Can they get a screening visit? So also at the end of that safe space meeting, we ask them if they want an advocate with them, if they want to sign up for our study buddy program. And so we have if they say yes, we have a document where they sign an agreement that will allow us to be their advocate and go to the visits with them. And this is all in that document. It talks about HIPAA and different things like that, because of course, if we're in the room with them, they're going to be talking about their health information, right? So we have to have some agreement in place. So we have that agreement in place with them for us to be their advocate, their study buddy, and we will, show up to the visit with them as their advocate and go and sit through that visit with them.
I
And
absolutely
then
love
we'll call
that.
them on a regular, like every
Yeah,
the so depending on the study, every study is different on how often you have to go
yeah.
in. We would also call them, on a consistent basis to make sure that they're, still having a good experience in the study. If they have any questions, they can, and they don't feel comfortable asking the study team, they could ask us, and then maybe we can help them have that conversation next time they're in the office, and just making them feel as comfortable as possible.
Yeah, I love that because I mean, that's probably the most basic sense of community, right? Because it's somebody that looks like you, that is
Yep.
giving you, holding your hand. And then on top of that, if you're an elderly person, that's just like, you feel like somebody from your family is caring and is going with you during this process, especially somebody that knows about the actual process and knows about
Yep.
research and knows about
Yep.
the medical terminology, that they will feel more comfortable asking later, hey, I didn't understand this, could you please explain it to me?
Yep.
Or it's less intimidating, right?
Exactly.
Love that.
Exactly. They feel they because we're becoming their buddy, because we're building that relationship with them even before they get there, they're gonna be more comfortable talking to us. And I like what you said when you say someone that looks like you. That's actually something that we will do our hardest to always have a advocate that is from the same background as the participant. We always want the advocate to have that same background as the participant, because that's when they feel most safe. So
Right. So I was looking at your background, and so you have prior to diverse research now, you actually were in research for quite some time.
yes, yes.
That's awesome. Because I mean, other organizations, and not to, the work that they're doing is amazing, but I do think that it it speaks volumes when you have somebody that's worked in or throughout the industry in different levels, and actually comes in and speaks about what they know to, let's say, the CROs or sponsors, and speak their language, but actively able to then communicate it correctly, but at a different level for those that have no research experience. I think that's
Yeah,
amazing, and it kind of helps synergize the connection between trusting, not just the person that you're speaking with, but also knowing that, hey, I used to work in this industry, so you can trust them too.
mhm.
It's just communication.
Yep, yep. So yeah, no, my background is super unique in that way, where I've been in the community, working in the community, talking to the community members, but I also have worked with the sponsors at the research sites. I've been a coordinator, I've been a monitor, like doing all the regulatory and all that. So I really have a good understanding of the process. And of course, we're teaching that and training our advocates the same.
I have a quick question. And obviously,
Mhm.
I mean, this is also for the community to learn. Does this have any cost for the patient?
We don't ever want this to have to cost for the patient. We're
Yeah.
partnering with the biotech, pharma sites, whoever stake all the research stakeholders. We're partnering with them so we don't have to ask the community for anything. This shouldn't we shouldn't have to ask them for anything. This should be free to
Oh,
them
great,
all the time.
great.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
so yeah,
Mhm.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and to add to what Monica just asked, if a research site was interested in what you guys are doing, what would
Mhm.
that look like, or how do they reach out to you, or what?
So
Because that's what you also work with research sites, right? Like,
yes, yes, yes. So thank you for asking that. So that's actually another piece to what we're doing. Because we do know the value of partnership, and we want to work with sites. And so we can, see a difference. We do have like a membership where you can actually be a member of Diverse Research now, and you get different benefits from us. So we can do events together. We will help with your with ads, and we will help with for your study, or we will help educate the community about the health condition that you're studying. We yeah, there's a whole list of things that we could do if you come and be a member with us.
That's great. I did
Mhm.
want to ask, so in regards to the partnerships that you're doing and all of those things, I
Mhm.
feel there's really great synergy here, because one, if you didn't already know, Latinos in clinical research, we it's Latinos, and obviously us here, we're all Latinos, but um, it's more because for the predominantly, like, language barriers and things like that, but we are open to all ethnicities. We have a plethora of different ethnic backgrounds in our membership, and
Okay.
yeah, yeah, and one of the things that we're very strong about is not charging our members or our community. We believe that content and information should be free for everybody. There should, no silos or anything like that, to make sure that we're having a far reach, right?
Yep.
So, outside of the webinar, I feel like there's a lot of things that we could do together because there's just so much common spaces between us and our mission. So, after this, I'd really love to talk just a little bit more if you're open to see what we could do together.
For sure. That's why I'm here. For
Yes.
sure.
And Alicia, she wants to connect with you. She's amazing.
Yes.
Alicia is always helping
Yay.
the
Hey,
community.
everyone is needed in this. Everyone is needed in this. You never can have too many hands in this
Yeah.
effort. But I was gonna say you made me think of something because we want to be inclusive as possible and get the information out as much as possible. So at our events, like the monthly event, our challenge chats, we have we usually try to have an interpreter there, a Spanish interpreter there, and
Great.
hope to grow that, and have interpreters in other languages too. But right now, we have an interpreter that we work with, and we always ask her to come to those events.
That's great. Thank you for
Mm-hmm.
going that extra mile for the patients that, don't
Mm-hmm.
speak English or don't speak English well.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that there's so much to say about, what you're doing. And as you mentioned, right, there's what are you not doing? You're so involved, isn't that? I think it takes, I mean, we've been doing this for going on 4 years, and that's just, we're here virtual. Most of the
Yeah.
things that we do in the partnerships we do are virtual, but, it does take a lot for people to not just, move forward with the project, such as, what you guys are doing, but to keep at it and to be continuously giving back to the community, especially
Yeah.
when we know that whether it's for profit, nonprofit, if the mission and vision is for the people and for the community, rarely does that those funds come back, right? It's always being recirculated back into the community, constant, so that you can just continue to grow and help reach more people. So thank you for your work. Thank you for being just who you are, and putting yourself out there to the community, because it takes a very specific kind of person. And so we always try when we find people, like Judy's like, you really need to speak with her, we need to bring her on because she's doing great things, and we need to showcase her. So yeah, it's definitely it's great to come across people that are doing the work that you're doing.
I would love
Thank
to
you
hear
so
a
much.
little bit.
Yes,
Oh,
Judy
no,
has.
thank you. I would like to learn a little bit more about how this idea became a reality and what
Yeah.
was the driven reason for it.
I mean, it really is about I'm okay, so I like to serve, so my community. So I'm a giver, and I knew kind of what my community needed, and how to get across to them and how to get their attention. And my community, the Black community and other communities of color, are very much underserved, right? Not just underrepresented, but we're underserved in so many areas. So that's what the idea was, is to serve the community in this space, that's why, well, it makes us unique, right? Because nobody would think, oh, serve the community in clinical research, like what does that look like, but um this idea started back in 2020. I think a lot of I feel like I hear that all the time. People say they had these great ideas during that pandemic when we all were slowed down, but yeah, that's when it really started, where it just started as a Facebook group, just to get information out. So, and it kind of grew from there, just to, because we didn't want to just give information. We wanted to try to bring about solutions. I'm definitely a very solution based person. Like, I don't want to keep talking about the same, I'm want to come up with some solutions that's going to move things forward.
Yes,
So,
we need to get in contact with you and all your resources, because that's one of the things that we've been hitting a roadblock with. We tend to come around, I mean, mostly, not all the time, but individuals where it's just the constant circle round and it's not so much action, right? And I think that's
Yep.
been the only, um, thing that for me personally has been a little bit, like deterring from the way I feel about, wanting to give more, but just hitting that roadblock. So, anything we could do to connect on that would be great because there's just so many ideas and so little time and so little resources that you just, you grab at what you can to give as much as you possibly can. And I think that's also why we helped create SOS because we felt like, well, if this platform and the way we're directing it isn't necessarily getting us exactly where we want to go, then we can use another platform to do the same thing just in a different way and, do our best to kind of consolidate that effort, right?
Yeah, it's gonna take some time. I say that all the time. I tell the researchers, the people, our members, people that we're working with, like this is not something that's gonna happen, overnight.
Mhm.
I always say historically we have these historical injustices. We've had this system historically in place for how long? This is definitely something that's not going to turn around overnight. So I always say the long game. It's the you have to be in it for the long run. And for you have to we're putting in the work now, to hopefully see something in the future. We don't know how near that's gonna be. I
Yeah.
don't know how near the results are gonna, but I do know that it will make a change. I do know that the work we're doing will make a change.
Yeah,
So.
brick by brick
Yes.
foundation, you build a beautiful home.
You said it
Mhm.
perfectly. All that work is going to pay off, and that's the thing. Is I think sometimes in our industry, people want results right away. They want results
Yep.
by study, but it's that investment in that community, long-term investment that we need to start doing. That many are not doing.
That
So hopefully,
investment in the community, that's we all know what investment means.
Yeah.
Investment means you put your money in and it sits there and it grows.
And you
So
watch it
you have
nervously.
that.
years later.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, thank you for joining. Sorry, you caught us in mid conversation.
Somebody said investment. I think AQST. Where do I buy more? It's the biotech I'm into, guys. I got my coordinator Luis Ruiz here. We're creating new source for a new study. We have our first screening for a bipolar study. Judy's very familiar with on Thursday, hopefully, and it's the same day Luis is going to be cooking tacos
Hey.
for our podcast.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
for
Gonna be
patients,
mic'd up,
for patients, or for the staff.
cooking at a at a Marisco restaurant,
Oh,
but podcasting at the same time with the owner.
ah, okay.
So flipping, how are you gonna do? You're gonna chop onions?
I think they're gonna just let us cut the onions or the
Yeah.
vegetables
All right.
or washing the dishes.
Wash the dishes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But that's a different type of investment in their community. They're
That's
doing.
what I heard. We're investing in the community. We're investing. Let's boost up the business owners in the community. And,
That's awesome.
unintentionally, they've all been, with the exception of one, minorities, like all of them. And it's just like the nail salon lady, she's Hispanic, taco shop. I mean, they've all been, and we're investing money into promoting them. And in return, we hope maybe one day in the future somebody watches it and says, hey, you know what? I trust that site a little bit more
Yep.
because my nail lady knows them. So they must be, not con artists, which is not a
Yep.
bad barrier to break through. At least if we can not be con artists, you're getting somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. Dan, you really need to go back and when you get an opportunity to rewatch this because we feel that Renata would be really great for SOS and giving the voice to patients. And there's a patient there in Oklahoma City that would more than likely be open to speaking about his experience. And I mean, there's just a lot of synergies there. So we're really happy that we had this introduction. And Alicia says, "Now I'm hungry for tacos." I know, right?
Me too. Me
I,
too.
I don't know what time it is over there, but
Me
it's almost
too.
seven
I'll
o'clock
bring
over here.
Louise.
Taco
I'll bring Louise.
Tuesday. It's
Oh
Taco
my God,
Tuesday.
It's taco o'clock.
it's taco o'clock.
It's strip taco. They're good. They're really good. You guys look forward to. Luis will probably be at SOS with me this year. I can't bring the whole team, but we'll bring one. I'll probably bring Luis, maybe one more, but I think
Nice.
Luis will be the one. Maybe we'll put him on a panel or something.
Hey, there you go. Yeah, definitely lots of options and opportunity there. And we really, one of the things that we're trying to do, like we said for LICR, is give, a platform for the, unheard voices or those that aren't necessarily in the forefront of, the usual throughout the industry. And we want to use our platforms to do that, right? Bring people to the front and actually introduced to other people within the industry and hopefully help move their efforts forward, right, especially if the efforts are really great. And yeah, so this is awesome. I guess before we tune out for the day, was there any questions, was there anything that we may not have covered that you feel is really important that the industry and or anybody who's watching should know about you or about diverse research now that you would like to share that you haven't already shared?
Um, yeah, no, I mean, I usually just end with just following us to follow us. If you don't mind, we're on IG. You can find us on IG, diverse underscore research underscore now. We're on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're
Everywhere.
on LinkedIn. We're everywhere. You can find us. We have a website. Check us out. I think you already put that up. But yeah, if you guys we just want everyone to follow us. So and share what we're doing. This
For
what
sure.
I was gonna say that word of mouth is huge, right? In our communities, like word of mouth is how we're gonna get this message around.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. And well, I think that's it already. I've been posting pretty much all the comments that were coming through. So, we can definitely end it here. But if you don't mind another waiting after we close off, because we definitely like to talk to you about how we could collaborate further. But
Yeah.
thank you so much, Latinos in Clinical Research, for being
Okay.
here. Please make sure to follow her, follow Diverse Research Now, sorry, and all the other links that she mentioned. When we post up the YouTube and refollow, if you can provide us those links so we can make sure that they're
Okay.
attached as well. But
Sure.
yeah, you guys, thank you so much. We really appreciate you watching, and for those that you watch later, make sure that you connect. Awesome. Well, thanks, you guys. That's everything. You guys have a great Tuesday evening, and we will be back Thursday to cover the FDA guidance. If you're interested in that, you want to have a voice in the feedback that LICR will be submitting, please make sure you attend. It'll be found on the events section of the LinkedIn for Latinos in Clinical Research. And till next time, you guys have a great one.
Bye. Thank you.